Hello everybody, welcome to the next video. So this one, as you can see, is going to be on how to let go. I've had a few requests to do a updated video on the letting go technique with some visual representations. I think that original video I made is still a very good resource, and this is more like a supplement to that video. So I suggest that everyone still watch that video and then add this one on if you're having trouble understanding the technique. So letting go is a form of surrender or acceptance. So you're basically surrendering to what is, or you're accepting what is as it is. What we normally do instead of surrendering to what is or accepting what is, we either crave and cling to something that we inherently enjoy or like or find happiness in, and we have aversion and push away things that we don't like, that we find make us unhappy. Instead, when something arises within our awareness, what we want to do in order to let go is not judge it, not label it, and simply dispassionately observe it. Something to establish is that change is inevitable. Everything is impermanent. We know this in our daily lives, but we may not notice it all the time. Something arises and it always passes away. This is like the sun rising and then setting. The day comes and goes away for the night. It's like how you'll have a headache and it might last an hour or half the day or the entire day, but eventually the headache goes away. You can have a birthday party and everyone comes over and you have a wonderful time and you have cake and presents, but eventually your birthday is over. So we know that everything arises and then passes away, arises and passes away. Even our bodies, we arise, we take birth, we live, we grow old, we get sick, and we pass away. Our bodies do. So in light of that fact of life, we need to attempt to be equanimous, to have equanimity. This means to be calm and composed in the face of change. Another way to look at how to let go is to be curious about what's happening, about the changes of phenomena, like a scientist. So this is from another video I did on the forgiveness, or how to forgive. And forgiveness and letting go are essentially synonymous, but forgiveness is more broadly applied to things that you may believe other people have done to you, or other organizations have done to you, other entities have done to you. Letting go is more general in the sense that everything that comes into your awareness you recognize will change, so you do not cling and you do not push away. As I said in that video, there is a personal conscious mind that all of us have, and there is a personal subconscious mind that all of us have as individuals. Within the personal subconscious mind are raw emotions. They are reservoirs of emotional energy, and they surface at random times throughout the day. They surface because of triggers, and they'll surface as images, thoughts, or general feelings, and there's always a color to them that is dictated by what reservoir they come from. So the mind wants to heal. These reservoirs are repressed emotional energies due to things in our lives and things in our past lives that we weren't able to reconcile in the moment. So in order to protect ourselves, to protect our psyche, they were pushed beneath our conscious awareness. And the Buddha would call these sankhara. They're basically the inertia that pushes us from one life to the other, and the energy that we need to run out. You can think of like a wheel or a tire, like a bike tire that you spin, and it will keep spinning until it runs out. But if you spin it again, it'll keep spinning, and you'll add more inertia to its momentum. What you want to do is to let go so that the inertia runs out. You don't spin the wheel. You don't perpetuate the sankhara. You don't repress the emotions or the energies as they come up. You let them run out. You let them run their course. So thoughts, images, and feelings colored by these emotional energies will be served to the conscious mind, as I said. However, so they're served to the conscious mind at any time. Maybe you're brushing your teeth, going to the bathroom, in the shower, making a meal, doing the dishes. But it's not the only way that these emotional energies are able to surface. There's also an outside world, and events in that outside world will trigger you to feel these emotions again. When you are triggered, you will behave and think in a way that will protect the ego. So from the video, this was about projection, but in general, we can ignore this line here. You will just behave in a way that will repress or suppress those energies to protect your psyche again, unless you're prepared to face them in order to let them go. And that's what this video is about. So as we said, triggers occur because there is a repressed emotional energy reservoir. If it wasn't there, if it wasn't present, then the energy or the emotion would not be felt. To illustrate this, an angry person has anger within them. It's beneath their conscious awareness, and outside in the world, they see things that make them angry. And this ties in with the projection element of our egos. Someone who has less anger will be triggered less to feel anger. And someone who has eradicated anger completely will not be angry. You can think about how equanimous and peaceful and unconditionally loving, say, Jesus Christ was, or the Buddha, or Ramana Maharshi, many other saints and sages and enlightened beings who have relinquished all of their sankhara, all of their emotional energy reservoirs beneath their conscious awareness, so they're no longer triggered. And if there is a fleeting thought, it is very, very simple for them to let it pass. So when something surfaces, feelings, thoughts, and images, aka mind activity, occurs. But so do physical sensations. And we will cling to or be averse to these sensations, these feelings, these thoughts, these images. And that's typically how we behave. It's a habit. You need to interrupt your habitual response and become a dispassionate observer of the changing phenomenon. In terms of a letting go technique, it's easier to focus on physical sensations. Your thoughts could start racing, you could be carried away by them. Feelings and emotional energy can get really intense, and images can be, very disturbing or very enthralling. But physical sensations are a little more stable and easier to observe dispassionately. As a scientist, it doesn't concern you. So when these physical sensations arise, when these emotions arise, when these images arise, you want to treat the phenomena as if you're a scientist witnessing it, simply observing it and taking notes. When a scientist, for example, observes ice heat up and then melt into water, he's not upset about it. When he observes water heat up and turn into vapor or steam, he's not upset about it. He's not clinging at the water, wishing it would come back and craving that it come back, hoping that soon the water will return. He just watches it turn into vapor, and he's completely equanimous with that change. Similarly, when ice melts and becomes water, he's not averse to the change. He's not pushing it away. He's not trying to force that water back into ice because water scares him, for example. This change can go this way and that way and this way and that way. It can go halfway and then back. And every single time, the scientist is just observing. At no point during the change does a true scientist become upset. They only observe. So I want to talk about the practical steps of letting go now. Basically, when something does arise, you're going to sit or stand still for just a moment. It can be done at any time. You can be doing pretty much anything unless you're, driving a car, operating heavy machinery, things like that. And then you want to focus on the breath, just to calm yourself down, to prepare yourself for the letting go technique, and to break the habit of what you normally would respond with. Then you're going to relax. So you're going to stop what you're doing. You're going to breathe, focus on your breath, and you're going to relax. Allow yourself to relax as you breathe out. Breathe in, relax again as you breathe out. And then you're going to put on your lab coat. Now it's time to observe. You might be triggered to feel fear. You might be triggered to feel anger. You're going to observe the sensations as they are in your body. You're going to let go of the thoughts. You're going to let go of the overwhelming emotion. You're going to let go of the images. You're not going to judge anything. You're not going to label anything. You're just going to observe sensation in the body as it is. It will change. It will rise. It will fall. It'll become subtle. It'll become intense. Maybe you'll find a pain. Observe the pain. Observe the pain. Keep telling yourself, I'm a scientist. I'm dispassionate. I'm observing the pain. Relinquish the label of pain. It's no longer pain. It's a phenomenon. It's just something within awareness. It might intensify. Allow it to intensify. Don't move. Don't try and make it feel better. Don't push it away. Don't wish you felt anything different, because you're observing it as it is. You don't want to cling and you don't want to push away. You do this for as long as it takes and as often as necessary. If you get overwhelmed, if you get distracted, down here as you're observing, start at step 1 and just go through this process again. So you start at step 1 if you become distracted or agitated. And you do this as often, over and over and over as you need to. This is another slide from the forgiveness video. So as we said, we have the personal conscious mind and the personal subconscious. Energy arises because there's maybe an outside trigger. So Steve here is triggered because he's remembering an image of this unfortunate thing that happened to him. And he's only going to observe it. He's going to breathe. He's going to relax. And he's going to observe. And you can say, I let this go, instead of I forgive you. It depends on what it is. I forgive you and I let this go are essentially the same thing. And then I put down here that a good analogy for when these things arise, thoughts, images, feelings, just don't pick it up. Don't pick up what is being served from your subconscious to your conscious. You say to yourself, hands off. So something has arisen, like this pencil. This is just an analogy, but you can't see it on the screen, and then it arises into your conscious. You're just going to keep your hands off. You're not going to touch it. And that's what I did here with this little image here of Steve's hands. He's not touching the image. He's just going to observe. Don't grab a hold of it. Don't cling to it. Don't push it away. You're just going to breathe, going to relax, and you're going to observe. You allow what arises without labeling it or judging it. You simply observe as dispassionately as you can. So back to the practicality of it. When they first become aware, when they first come up into your awareness, their thoughts, images, things like that, there will be an energy, and it might be very strong. You're going to focus on physical sensations instead of those thoughts, images, how strong the emotion is. And I just put down some examples. You'll feel heat. You might feel coldness, so temperature changes. You could feel tight. You could feel heaviness or lightness to the part of the body or your whole body. You might start perspirating. Your hands could get clammy. You could start shaking. There might be pain. There might be cramping. There could be nausea. Say it's a fear. Tingling, tickling, itching. All of these things are sensation. When you focus on sensation, it will make things easier for you. And I think this is relevant for the people that struggle with the more, theoretical aspects of letting go. This is very practical. You just want to focus on sensation as it is without clinging and without pushing away. And another slide from one of my other videos that I wanted to reiterate, you can always ask for help. You don't have to believe in any higher power. You don't have to believe in any sort of help from outside of you. You can rely completely on your own willpower, your own abilities, and you just train and you get better and better and better. But if you already are a spiritual person and you believe in a higher power of any kind or help of any kind, you can ask for help. This basically gives you permission to let go even further because you're not relying completely on yourself anymore. You're giving some of the work over to somebody you trust that you have faith in. So if you have faith in God or the Holy Spirit or a spirit guide or a spirit friend or even a past loved one, it could even be you have faith in your own stronger will, your own subconscious mind to do what it does naturally. It's trying to heal. So you could say, I ask my subconscious for help. I ask my higher self. I ask my deeper intelligence for help. I can't do this alone. I have too much trouble with this. Please take this from me. And then just let go. Just relax even further. That's if these things get really intense. If these emotions get really intense, if this, pain or nausea, cramping, you might start shaking. All of these things are normal. All of these things are you healing, letting go, releasing emotional energies that have been stuck probably for quite some time. And you're finally allowing them to the surface and allowing them out through surrender. In the beginning, you might only be able to handle a little bit at a time, and that's okay. It might just be a little pain in your foot, a little tightness in your chest, a little nausea in your stomach. Maybe you're triggered to be angry at a parent or a friend or a partner, triggered to be angry on the road because someone cut you off. Use the technique there. Do letting go. As you do this practice, your subconscious mind will realize that you're letting things go, and it will serve you more. It will serve you more intense things from deeper within the subconscious. And because you've had practice, naturally, you'll be better at it, and naturally, you'll be able to let those things go. I want to stress here that no matter how much work you do, how little or how much, it is not wasted. There is no wasted effort. Everything that you let go of is let go of. There could be a reservoir, say here. This may be grief, and it's coming up. And an analogy that I used in the last video is that there's sort of like a pipe or a tube, and you're not aware of the reservoir because it's below your conscious awareness. When it comes to this part of the tube right here, suddenly you can observe it. Suddenly that eyeball is available to you. That's who you are. You're observing. And you're just letting it up. You're letting it go. You're keeping your hands off. You're observing. You have no idea how full this is, how empty this is, how long it's going to take, but it is emptying. It's slowly emptying. The level is getting lower and lower and lower. And when it does fully release, there will be a sense of relief that washes over you. It's happened to me many times. It's like suddenly you take a deep breath, you let go out of nowhere. It just releases from your body, and a sort of peace, a relief just washes over you. What happens over time is these things get released from your subconscious, and you're no longer bogged down by them beneath your awareness. So there's like a sort of heaviness to your life that slowly dissipates, and you may not notice, but other people will. You may not notice day to day, but eventually you'll have an experience that you'll notice after the fact. Wait, that used to make me really upset, or that used to make me very afraid. It no longer does anymore, and it's because you've been doing the work. So that's how to let go in a nutshell. If you watch this video, if you watch my other video I made, that's just me talking to the camera, and if you watch my video on forgiveness, you should have a very good idea of how to do this and how to see results. I just want to reiterate, you're not judging, you're not labeling, you're simply observing. You want to be equanimous. You want to have equanimity. You're calm and composed. Remember, everything changes. Change is inevitable. This is spelled as anicca, anicca. Everything changes, anicca. I think this is Pali. I'm not sure. I learned it at the Vipassana retreat. So you're going to say to yourself, anicca, anicca. Everything changes. I'm going to be equanimous. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.